we're more alike than we thought, you know, as women that in different cities and countries, there's some similarities in our stories.
Yeah. We have more in common than differences. Welcome to another dose of Empire, where we share stories to elevate and inspire. My name is Mimi, and I'll be your host for today. I am honored to introduce our next guest. She's a motivator, a hair guru, and host of Curl Talk. Please help me welcome Stephanie Burrell. To learn from, what is that one lesson learned that it just got you, and you still carry that with you?
I do have to say, when I did my first big chop, I got a lot of unrelated and unasked comments from people. I didn't ask them for their opinion, but they gave it to me anyways. That's something that, I don't know, I feel like not that I probably wouldn't have experienced here in America, but in Haiti, it's such a small area that we were in, that everyone knows each other.
Right.
Yeah, the comments that I would get, and why did you do that? You looked better with long hair. And
oh my God.
Another thing, a lot of those negative comments were from men. And I was just like, I didn't do this for you. The women that were supportive were very, very over the top supportive. Oh my gosh. They lifted me up every single time. They would, the comments and the comparisons that they would say to me.
No.
And just, so, I met a lot of positive people and then negative people. So it really, it opened my eyes to a lot of things, what people are looking out for, more of appearance than like character.
Oh, I can totally relate. I think, unfortunately, I don't want to discriminate, but that is part of Haitian culture, unfortunately. I don't know if it comes from love, the idea of they have to say anything that pop into their mind. I don't know, but it is, unfortunately, Haiti is part of my culture as well. And I think that is something I can honestly say I can relate to, unfortunately. And I don't know if that will ever change. It is part of our culture for sure. So I don't know. Can you relate to that, where that is something, unfortunately, it happens too often in Haiti, where we don't lift each other up enough, I would say. What would you say?
I totally agree, but I do have to say I see a silver lining, because I don't know if anyone's noticed, but the Curl Talks that I've had, each and every woman that I've interviewed are Haitian. So I
did not know that, actually.
Yeah, every single one of them are Haitian, and I've either met them while I was in Haiti, or I've known them for a while back, but they are all, with the exception of one person, have endured or are currently on the hair journey, the natural hair journey. So I think our generation is really working towards changing that narrative, and I've said this before, that healthy hair should be more, I guess, of a concern, right? That's something that we should strive for, rather than like long hair. So I feel like more Haitian women are being bold and being more unapologetically themselves. So I have super high hopes. This generation is killing it. 100%.
Okay. I stand corrected. I have to agree. But I have to also say, I think maybe it's more of, I don't want to dismiss anyone, but I do think this new generation is more having conversations. We are having more conversations so we can learn from each other, so we can learn the good, the bad, and see how we can improve. So that is something that is happening for sure. And I think that's one of the reasons these conversations are so important, because I mean, I learned from my parents and I learned from generation before that, and they were not having conversation where we were having before, like we're having now. So I think it's just so vital. But I did not know that all your interviewees were Haitian. Guys, let's just pause. Please go check out 𝐀𝐀_𝐍𝐊. The link gonna be below. Please go check it out. I mean, I've watched almost every episode, just inspirational. And the conversation, you talk about hair, you talk about the good, the bad, and the stories. I remember one story. I don't remember who the interviewee was, but your line of questioning is obviously amazing, guys. Go check it out. But I remember her story was about how she was forced to remove her hair, to remove her scarf, and she was just in that one setting where I think she was having a bad hair day the night before, and she quickly put a hoodie on top of it, and she was in that setting, and they told her to take it off. Do you remember that?
What's the stigma when talking about like 4C hair texture, or like a coarse or kinky hair texture?
Yeah, that's not beautiful, I would say. Number one, that it's not professional. Number two, like, why can't I wear my afro at work? I mean, I do.
Yeah.
I don't care. I think back to I have this one particular experience that's haunting me to this day. I was in high school and I was I'm gonna take that back. I was in high school and I was on a particular team, and I was wearing a headband that day because I did not have a protective style that day. I was wearing a headband and I had like a bun, like I made a little ponytail, whatever. And I wore the headband so that it could hold the front down. Right? It wasn't because I thought it looked cute. I just needed to hold the front down.
Placement.
Again, this is like, yeah. So this is like in between perms type stuff.
Yeah.
So that's how I had my hair that day, and it was a type of tournament in South Florida, and it was really hot, and we were wearing suits and stuff like that. So when I got there, and one of the leads were doing like kind of like patrols, I guess to say, making sure everybody looked good, they said, take this off. And I was like, wait, what? They're like, take your headband off. And that has traumatized me to this day because, of course, like, they weren't of my skin tone, they weren't of my hair texture, whatever. So it's easy for them to say, just take it off and you'll be fine. But for me, it's like, no, I won't, because I know what's under this. You don't, but I do. So those type of things, like not understanding, it can be professional. Black hair can be, it doesn't matter what texture or whatever.
Yes. And I can't even imagine that happening to us, like, how would we react? It's crazy. It's crazy. It definitely is.
But how do you, I mean, the reason I mentioned that story, because I thought it was just powerful. Not only, it was so organic, your line of questioning, and how you allow your interviewee to really open up and share their tough stories when it comes to hair journey. And that could be natural or not. But I think we all have that journey where these things that you would never think would happen actually are happening to people. What would you say is one of your tough lessons learned when you do these interviews, and especially talking about hair journey and people's well-being and acceptance journeys?
I think the toughest thing would have to be that it is a struggle. There is that awkward period of time that we have to just kind of endure until it's over. Whether it's what stage of hair growth they're in, or if they're going through something, there's that phase in your life that you're just like, oh my gosh, like how long is this going to take? This is actually really, really difficult. So, but the positive is it made me realize that we're more alike than we thought, you know, as women that in different cities and countries, there's some similarities in our stories.
Yeah. We have more in common than differences. I couldn't agree with you more.
So not everyone's going to be on the same path as you or have the same views. So for it to be a wholesome conversation, you have to be A, listening to each other, and B, respectful.